So that was the first property of the align section, and the second property is the align items property. We will not do that too complicated and too big. What we will do is just take this container, duplicate it, and now just make it a little bit larger so that we actually have some space on the cross axis. And now basically, as we already covered, we are now not concerned with the main axis, we are now concerned with the cross axis, which is the vertical axis in this case. And let's now see what happens when we use those settings. The first setting here, and I'm not naming them again because it basically it basically is also has the same naming convention. So those three settings are basically the corresponding to the first three settings. So they are also kind of flag start for aligning them at the beginning of your cross axis, flag center, putting them in the middle of your cross axis, and end, putting them on the end of your cross axis. So I think it makes sense that those three correspond to kind of this start. This is start on both axes, this is center on both axes, and this is end on both axes. Now there are two more settings for the align items. Now I'm admitting that I am not really sure what this auto alignment is exactly doing. So if any one of you managed to figure this out, as far as I know, this does not exist in the same way in the web world, in normal CSS. So, and also I could not find any section in the documentation that is explaining this. I was not using this yet so far. So I don't think that we are missing a lot. If someone of you happens to know what this actually does, it would be great to give us a link or write it down in the comments. This is the one part of this course where I have to shamefully turn away and say I cannot exactly tell you what this auto is doing. However, the thing that is more important, I think, is this third setting here, which is called stretch. Now you can see that indicated by those two kind of top and bottom bars, and the elements are going over the whole height. Now the thing why this is quite important is that this explained the thing that we encountered before, where the elements are growing on the cross axis. And if you think about this, this makes sense, because we are basically saying align items is regarding the cross axis, and on the cross axis you can stretch. So this is the default setting for the cross axis. Now this doesn't have any effect on our children here because they are having a fixed size. But when I'm taking the parent element, where is it? So this one, that is kind of having all of those rows. When I now switch this to start, you see that we don't have any space where we can actually do something. All of our elements shrink just to the sizes of those three items that they have. And now I could throw them, I could put them on start, middle, or end. But again, when I go back to stretch, you see now all those other properties kick in because they have enough space to actually distribute the elements. So you can see what you can do with stretch is tell your children how they can behave on the cross axis. And by default, so maybe most of the time when you're working with elements, because you don't want to change this every time, as you see, it's kind of the intended behavior to expand on the cross axis. When you want to change that, you have to explicitly go to your container element and set a different align items setting. Okay, so we will again look at a practical example for our align attributes. I think this should not be too confusing. Maybe this stretch thing is a little bit special, but except from that, they just help you to quickly get some nice layouts done.